Good morning to everyone to the module multi-agency working, and the module code is XSSCYP5005. I'm the module leader for this module and my name is Samrina Afzal. Today I am going to present the lecture from week 1 to week 4. You can see on this slide about the session learning outcomes. After the completion of this session, the student will be able to learn about what are the expectations of this module and what is multi-agency and how the multi-agency is working in the community. What laws and government policies are involved that support the multi-agency working. Further, the students will also be able to learn about models of multi-agency work. Finally, what are the advantages and the challenges of the multi-agency work? The students will also be able to learn about all these learning outcomes after the completion of the week 1. Let's talk about the assessment and deadlines for this module multi-agency work. So there is only one assignment the students have to complete by the end of the semester, and that is the simulation case conference report, and the word limit is 2000 words or equivalent. It is 100% weightage of the whole module. Deadline for the this assessment will be 25th of March 2025 till 12 noon, and the students will be able to get the summative feedback within 15 working days after the submission. The learning outcomes related to this assessment is learning outcome 1 and 2 that we will discuss on the next slide. The module intended learning outcomes, that is also a part of the assessment. There are basically two learning outcomes for this module. One is analyze principles and approaches pertaining to multi-agency work. The second learning outcome is the reflection. That means reflect upon development and in the understanding of the multi-agency working. Let's talk about the assessment for this module. The students have to write down the simulation case conference report, and the word limit is 2000 words or equivalent. Students have to go through the simulation case conference video that is present on the main Moodle page for this module. And students also need to read the case conference that is also available on the Moodle page. During this module, the students will observe about the case conference after watching the simulation case conference video. Basically, the simulation case conference video demonstrates how the multi-agency is working and how they are approaching to provide the early help to the family. And the feedback will be available after 15 working days after the submission. So please keep in your mind the students have to use the APA 7th edition approach for referencing for this report writing. So let's talk about the recommendations for the layout of the simulated case conference report. Basically, the case conference report should be comprises of the 6 sections or 6 parts. First section should be the title page. So students need to follow the university rules and regulations. They will not allow to write down their name, lecturer name or campus name. Further, the second section should be the introduction part. The students have to introduce about the topic, what this and basically they have to create a scenario or what this case study is about, and so basically they have to create a scene about the simulated case conference. The third part is the main discussion regarding the case conference. Here, the students have to provide the discussion in more detail regarding the case conference. Then the further part will be the reflective section. Here the students have to reflect upon how the multigency is working, what type of the challenges they are facing when different professionals are working as a part of the multigency, and what the students have learned about these challenges, and how they can cope these challenges when they have to work with the other different professionals. The fifth section should be the conclusion, and the conclusion should be written in summary form. And the last part of this simulation case conference report should be the reference list, and students have to follow the APA 7th edition for references. So let's talk about the definition of the multi-agency work. Multi-agency working refers to basically the collaboration and the cooperation between different organizations, agencies, or different sectors to achieve the shared goals, particularly in addressing the complex issues that require a multidisciplinary approach. And this approach is most commonly work in social services, education, healthcare, public safety, and community development to provide the holistic and effective support. On this slide, you can see the different government laws and the policies that basically underpin the multi-agency working. These laws included the Child Care Act 1989, the Children Act 2004, Every Child Matters, and working together to safeguarding the children, and finally the Common Assessment Framework. So let's talk about some of the advantages when the multi-agency is working. The first advantage is resources are better managed, such as the use of the professional time. It means less time is required for solving the any problem or the issue, because different agencies or professionals work together in collaboration to solve the issue. So that's why the less time is consumed for solving the problem. The other advantage can be the greater flexibility, and the further advantage, if we can see, when the people belonging to the different professionals working as a part of the multi-agency work, they are able to provide the earlier interventions about the any specific issue or the problem before the matter goes worse. So let's talk about the some multi-agency working challenges. The first challenge will be the bad communication, because if the people do not communicate properly with multi-agency, and then it can create a big challenge to solve the issue for the multi-agency. The other challenge may be the misunderstanding about the role of the other professionals, because different professionals can work as a part of the team of the multi-agency. So it can also be the challenge that who will lead the team. The other challenge could be confusion regarding the accountability and the decision making as well. So on this slide, I have added the many references link. So it will be helpful for the students for the understanding of the multigency work, how the multigency is working, and it will also be helpful for the completion of the assessment for this module. So let's start the week 2 session that is related to the child protection case conference understanding. So let's talk about the learning outcomes for the session 2. At the end of the session 2, students will be able to understand about the background to a child protection case conference, and they will also understand what is the purpose of the case conference to provide the protection to the child, and participate in a simulated child protection case conference. And finally, they will be able to recognize the case conference as an example of how the different professionals agencies can be work in collaboration as a part of the multi-agency. So let's talk about the Children Act 1989. According to this act, the case conference should be held or organized on the basis of the two concepts. First concept is if the child is in need, and the second concept is if the child is at the risk of significant harm. That means the children is facing a too many risk that can create a significant harm for the children. So let's talk about one by one the Children Act 1989 concepts. The first concept is the child in need. So what does it mean? The child in need is a child who require the extra help and support to grow up healthy and develop properly. This might be because they cannot reach a good level of the health or development without help from the local authority. And the second reason may be their health or development could get worse without support. And further possibility, maybe they have the disability. So this means that local authorities have a responsibility to provide services to ensure the child's well-being. So let's talk about some of the definitions that is will be helpful for the understanding of the case by the professionals. So, what is significant? Basically, significant is not properly defined. This means there is no exact definition for what is considered significant. So, the professionals should do their own judgment that is basically based upon the child's situation. Harm, it could be that any cause that's suffering to a child, and it can be ill treatment or anything else that will be negatively affect on the child's health and development. Health should be include both physical and mental health, and mental health means thoughts and the emotions. So development means this covers how a child grow in different ways, including emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, and so all these definitions basically help to understand the case about the child's in need. So, in the case conference, what type of the actions can be taken for the children who need the any specific type of the requirement for improving or maintaining their health and development? So let's have a look. First of all, if a child is at risk of the harm, then the local authorities should be involved to initiate the child protection measures and such as child protection plan or care proceeding. But in extreme cases, the child can be removed from their home, and they can be sent to the into the foster care, or other safe arrangements can be made by the multi-agency work or local authorities. So, a child protection case conference can be held when the any child is found at the risk of the significant harm. And who will be the part of the case conference? Basically, in the case conference, to provide the early help or the early need to the children or families involved, some type of the agencies such as social services, health services, and the police in extreme cases can also be involved, and other people that can work as a part of this multi-agency work can be the child, if his or her age is appropriate, the family, and school, and further GP or so all these members can be a part of the multi-agency or the case conference to provide the protection to the children if any children was found to be at a risk of the significant harm. So, what should be considered during a case conference? Basically, during the case conference, first of all, the background information should be discussed about the family, and later on, what are the findings after investigation of the case study, and what type of the interventions or ongoing assessment can be provided to the children, protection, and all these will be interventions or assessment will be based upon the findings after investigation. So let's talk about the session 3, that is basically related to what is integrated care. On this slide are the some session learning outcomes. So at the end of this lectures, the learners will be able to understand what is integrated care, what are the examples of the integrated care, and also we'll also discuss about some types of the benefits and the challenges that the organizations or the professionals are facing when they are working as a part of the integrated care. Finally, they will also have to learn what is the connections between the integrated care and multi-agency working. So what is integrated care? Integrated care is basically the personalized, coordinated care where the different healthcare services, either the primary or the secondary, are working in collaboration with the other organizations. Either these organizations are working as a voluntary or also with other community services. The basic purpose of all these organizations and healthcare services is to work in collaboration to provide the personalized care to the patients according to the need of the patient. So on this slide, you can see some type of the advantages of the integrated care. First one is the confusion. That means integrated care help the patients to understand their care better, so they are not unsure about what's happening or who to go for help. The second one is repetition. That means the integrated care helps to repeat the test or giving the same informations because everyone in the care team shares the necessary details. So third one is the delay. It ensure the patients they will get their right services at the right time without unnecessary waiting. So you can see the fourth advantage of the integrated care is duplication and gap in provision. And finally is the people getting stuck in the system. It means it makes the process smoother, so the patients do not feel lost or stuck trying to figure out how to move to the next step in their case. So now we are going to talk about what is a common assessment framework under the session 4. So let's go to the next slide. The common assessment framework that is more recently also known as the early help assessment, and it basically evolved from the every child matters. So, what is a common assessment framework that is also called as the CAF? So, the common assessment framework is basically designed to improve the public sector organization, their performance and service delivery. It basically provides the self-assessment framework that evaluates an organization strengths and which area they need to be improved. And this basically focusing on the quality management and the continuous improvement. Originally, it was developed by the European Public Administration Network. So what is the CAF? It basically a shared assessment tool that is available to all professionals that are involved to assess the child's needs. And these professionals may be teachers, social workers, and health workers. So this tool basically help to assess the children who may need the extra support. Further, this tool will also help to get the informations and organize the important details about the child situation. This CAF, that is a Common Assessment Framework, basically provides a consistent way to record the information so the professionals can work together. So this process ensures that children get the right help at the right time as well. So let's see when the common assessment framework can initiate a common assessment. It basically involves if they observe any change in the behavior, and basically it depends upon the child's behavior change. It means the children's becoming aggressive or struggling at school. The second possibility may be the significant life changes. That means events like the parental separations or the loss of the someone else. The third one may be the request for an assessment. So the further for the request for an assessment, who can do? Maybe the parent, carer, or the teacher, or even the child themselves may ask for an assessment if they feel the extra support is needed. So family stress factors, issues like parental substance abuse, domestic violence, or financial struggles can also affect the child's safety and development, making an assessment necessary. So let's have a look on to the next slides uh, as well. So to start the common assessment for the child's in need, the consent is required. So the consent can be taken from the child if they have the capacity to give the consent, but if they don't have the capacity to provide the consent, then the organizations can take a consent from their either parents or the carers. So let's talk about the four stages of the CAF, that is a common assessment framework. During the first stage, a pre-assessment checklist is need to be completed, and then the final decision will be based upon the outcomes of this checklist. For example, maybe no further action is required for the child protection. But if the outcomes related to having some type of the risks related to the child's health or development, then the concerns can be addressed by existing services of either by involvement of the single agency. But if there is a more risk, then the multi agencies can be required as well. Further, a specialist can also be a part of this assessment if the child protection concern is identified. The second stage is related to the completion of the consent. It may be taken from the child, parent, or the carer, and it depends upon where is the appropriate consent is required. So during the stage 3, after getting the consent from the stage 2, multi-agency meeting is conveyed or planned, and further action plan for the child was organized, like what type of the actions been required to provide the protection to the child. And during this meeting, a lead professional was also decided, and who will lead the other team. And further review date was agreed, like when will be the next meeting is going to be held. So during the stage 4, an evaluation of the progress is necessary at further multi-agency meeting, and it basically involves basically related to is any further involvement of the additional services is required, and all these evaluation can lead to the further planning, and it depends upon the previous outcomes that been collected from the previous meeting. So on this slide, few references have been added to provide the more explanation about the CAF, that is Common Assessment Framework. So if you have any question related to my lecture, you can email me. You can see my email on this slide. Finally, thank you very much for listening my lecture. Thank you.